You know what? I gotta be honest. I'm a little worried about our defense. That was his home court, right? I went into his home court and took his title. That's what I did.
We have a belt for it too.
We had a belt for it.
Man, I feel bad for you, Chris. That it meant that much to you.
If you ain't first, you're last.
See? And that's the thought mentality. I think when it comes
Mentality? Mentality.
And even then, like, I don't think he moves that much up in the rankings. That's what I usually look at is in fight cards, is which is a fight that's gonna bump somebody up to a number one contender.
You are now listening to SK Sports on the Spacekaiju Podcast Network.
What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of SK Sports. This is episode number 22. How's everyone doing this fine evening? Pretty good. I got Mario and Adrian joining me once again on SK Sports. I mean, we usually start the show off with, like our respected sports. But I want to give you the honor. Is there anything you want to get off your chest with your respected sport, Mario? Because I think me and Adrian, we don't want to talk about our respective sport this fine evening.
Nah, man. Like I mentioned the last, I think 2 episodes ago, my thumb, I jammed it, and it's still not 100%, man. So I'm still not able to.
Are you like rehabbing that in any way? Like,
nah, man.
I'm just curious, like.
All I did is just rub some Vaporub on it.
Okay.
And that's it, bro.
Because actually, I'm actually having a thumb issue as well. I just want to let you know. I actually smashed my finger here when I was working not too long ago.
Yeah.
And it was not like bad. Like it plumped up a little bit, and I didn't think nothing of it. But like I can feel a little bit like of pain, like from like on the outside bone a little bit. Like I'm trying to think now, like maybe I chipped a bone or something. Or
I mean, with me, I hope it just takes time to heal, but yeah, I haven't been able to play sports really.
I mean, you play basketball, so you need your thumb. Your thumb is necessary.
Yeah, man. That's on my shooting arm too, man.
Oof.
Shooting hand.
That's no bueno. But I mean, yeah, me and Adrian, we won't even mention anything of. we're a little bit on the offside with our respective sports. So we'll pass and we'll get right into some sports talk, and we'll get right into NBA talk. This is your guys' territory here. I mean, well, I've been kind of like paying attention here and there, but I figured it'd be good to kind of like recap from the round we just passed over. Mm-hmm. That's covering games such as, the Thunder losing to the Blazers, and then the Spurs, like the Spurs playing the Nuggets. Everyone thought like, okay, the Spurs are kind of starting to pick it up. Game 7, was an interesting one.
You could see the jitters from the game. Game 7, I think it brings a whole another pressure to the game. Yeah. And a lot of players aren't used to it. Mm-hmm. I thought the Spurs had the upper hand, because they've been in more Game 7s, but Denver and I didn't watch Jokic play as much as till Mario brought him up.
Yeah.
That guy is a baller, dude.
Yeah,
he's a baller, man.
Remember on our MVP or our top 8?
Yeah,
I had Jokic.
What?
I believe I had him 3 or 4.
Yeah, pretty high on your list.
Because the thing about Jokic is that they run everything through him, and then if you saw that Game 7, like when the Nuggets needed a basket, like they went to Jokic, and when the Spurs were making a run, the ball was going. Their offense was going through Jokic to get them back in it. So
I thought the Spurs had a run in them at the end. They got it within 5, 6, and Denver came and they closed it out, man. And
wouldn't that have been interesting if the Spurs would have made it like a little comeback like that?
Yeah. No, but the Nuggets deserved it. They played really well for a Game 7, and for them to really like not have any experience. Yeah. Like in a Game 7 or just playoffs in general, like. They're overachieving right now.
And on the other hand, we had Portland take out OKC, and was that kind of sad for you guys? Sad for me for sure, because I want to see Russ succeed, and it was kind of a bummer to see him go.
That was a crazy game.
I was a little shocked to see them lose like that, 4-1.
And that shot.
Yeah,
that shot, and now he's like a meme now, I guess. Like Dame Lillard's a meme, or like that. I guess like picture signifies like the utmost confidence in the world right now.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys heard Dame came out and he was talking about when the Thunder won Game 3. They were happy, making little talking smack. He's
gestures.
Like, look, he's like, look, we're trying to win 4 games, not 1.
Yeah.
And hey, they gave it to the Thunder, man. I thought the Thunder were gonna show out a little more, but they gave it to them. And like I was telling you earlier, man, I hate to say this, but I'm starting to think that you can't build around Russ, man. He's just, he's just like, I don't know. He has Paul George. They have talent.
You think it's like Russ being stubborn a little bit, or?
Yeah, I think to me it's more that
the type of player he is.
The type of player he is and the way he's playing right now. I think what he needs to do is he needs to adjust, and he hasn't been adjusting because Russell Westbrook, he only plays one way, and that's like 100% like speed. Like he just goes at you and he just doesn't stop. When he wants to hit a shot or when the other team's making a run, like he wants to just jack up a three or something like that.
And I think he does play the right way too. Like he plays hard. He just needs to play smarter.
Yeah, smarter.
He needs to play smarter.
Yeah.
So he doesn't need to be a point guard that shoots 30 field goals a game. I think he needs to be more of like a facilitator and kind of like they jumpstart the offense through him. And they were playing like that for a while.
Yeah.
When they were in the regular season and Paul George was going off, Paul George was the number one option, and he was going off.
What do they need, though, Mario? Like, they're done. They're out. What do you need? You have Paul George. You got Westbrook. You got Adams. They got a good core.
Yeah.
Maybe you add a shooter. I mean.
No, but you know what? I think they do need a shooter, and I think they really missed Andre Robertson.
Yeah.
So he's kind of like he's like their 3-and-D guy, like their Trevor Ariza.
Is it too off to say like? What stops like KD from going back to OKC? Like, is that possible? Because like it's like
I don't think they got cap space for that.
No, okay,
There's no going back.
I know, okay.
Well, they would love you if you went back. But
well, I mean, LeBron did it.
Yeah.
And he left again.
Well, LeBron loved Cleveland.
Yeah.
Does KD love OKC?
Nah, KD's.
Okay.
I don't see KD going back to OKC till maybe like the last year he's like in the NBA.
All right, that's fair enough. That's fair enough.
Because I know for sure it's almost like 100% that he's going to New York. That's what everybody's saying. Everybody's saying that it's a lot.
Let's wrap that conversation up. I'm agreeing with that one. Let's hold on to that one. But continuing on, we'll start off with the first series. I think we happened to catch, we'll recap a little bit. Toronto, taking out Orlando and moving on. And then we had Philly taking out Brooklyn and moving on. So now we have Toronto versus Philly, but Toronto's now up one game. So any thoughts on did you guys want to? I mean, there's nothing really to talk about the last round. It was 4-1s, 4-1s. Gentleman's sweep. Is that a gentleman's sweep? Is that what it's called? No.
We all knew it was gonna happen.
Yeah, it was a backdoor sweep.
Okay.
That's what they call
Backdoor
it. The Orlando one, because Orlando won the game one. And
Got it.
Just,
Got it.
Cool. But I've seen game one. I don't think the Sixers have an answer for Kawhi Leonard, man. He's a beast.
He's balling out.
He's balling.
Yeah.
And
what did he drop? He dropped a good amount of points.
40 something.
Yeah, 40 something. I wanted to say. Yeah.
But I think that series is gonna be good. I chose the Sixers from the beginning, so I can't back out now. But they got to do something with Kawhi. They got to make someone else beat him. But that one's gonna be good, man. All of them are gonna be good.
It's a good one. It's a good one to keep out.
I know a lot of people pick the Sixers just because of their roster, and you look at their roster and they just have so much talent. But I've said this before. I just think the Sixers, they just have too much talent and they don't know how to use him.
Yeah.
They're
still pretty young. Young talent too.
But with the Raptors, you got Kawhi. He's experienced, and like Adrian said, I don't think anybody on the Sixers can guard Kawhi. Like, if he wants to get 40, I think he could get 40 throughout like the whole series. And Siakam, I don't know if you guys have seen Siakam play.
He's been coming out.
That dude, he's just like a burst of energy, man. But he could play.
He could do a little bit of everything too. I've seen him shoot, seen him drive. I think Paul Pierce said it that he's their second best player, and if Kawhi Lowry was their best player, second best player, that they wouldn't be making this run that they're on.
Dang.
But
so they're on one.
I feel like Lowry takes a lot of heat.
He does.
He does, but
you know what? I feel like he's a little underrated though.
Yeah, he is.
He has games where he can go off. But that's in the regular season, and we're talking about the Eastern Conference. So
yeah. You guys want to move on to the next one?
Yeah.
All right. So the next one we got, which is the game just ended not too long ago, and this is Boston versus Milwaukee. Obviously, Boston taking a sweep to the Pacers, and Milwaukee taking a sweep to Detroit. Obviously, there's nothing to talk about there. Now we're into the basic end game of this era right here. So it's exciting to see that Boston surprisingly upset Milwaukee today in Milwaukee. What did you guys think about that?
I saw the ending of the game, and watching the highlights. I like the game plan that they had for Giannis. I feel like they crowded him inside the paint. They didn't let him get any easy buckets, and they made everybody else around him, knock down shots, and they made everybody else around him be the ones that were going to be able to beat the Celtics, and they weren't able to, and then Kyrie went off. Kyrie in the playoffs, like he's
another element.
He's just another element, man. He's got experience, and I still like the Bucks for them to be able to take the series, just because I feel like they'll be able to make the adjustments.
Yeah.
But you got to give Boston a lot of credit, man.
I want this one to go down to 7.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting.
I can see it going 6-7 games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I like Boston to win. I think Kyrie, man, he knows what time it is. It's playoff time. He's been there. He's won a championship. I just don't think Milwaukee has anyone that can touch him. I think he's going to do what he wants when he wants.
And he's probably a little bit like more of a speedster than Giannis.
I feel like the Celtics have a deeper team. They got
depth.
a lot of good players, more
Tatum,
than Milwaukee. Milwaukee's players are good too, but I could see Boston winning that series on an upset. And
I have Milwaukee.
Been there,
yeah, you're right. And I have Milwaukee winning it all. So
good luck.
Milwaukee winning it all.
Yeah, I have Milwaukee winning it all.
Beating the Warriors. And the Rockets.
Remember I told you guys past couple of podcasts. I was saying that the Warriors were gonna win it, and then I was like, you know what? I changed my mind. I'm going on to see that I want the Bucks to win, and I feel like the Bucks are gonna win. So I mean, now looking at that, it's kind of like, ooh, okay, maybe we'll see. It's gonna be rocky, but anything can happen.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
Yeah,
out of 6 or 7
out of a series. Yeah. And then lastly, we've got Golden State taking out the LA Clippers. Moving on, 4-2, and then we have Rockets beating Utah, which I think you got to give it up to Utah and LA to to even be in the playoffs in that sense, and like the fight that they put up, even though they didn't really get that many wins, right? I think one of my takeaways that I really liked was that Pat Beverly KD kind of battle. I enjoyed watching that, but I mean, obviously, the Warriors were gonna plow through them eventually.
Yeah, no, I gotta give credit to the Clippers though, man. Like they showed a lot of heart. I wish the Lakers played a little bit more like that.
Yeah.
Just with that hunger, that drive, and that it wasn't the case this year. They didn't play like that at all. And the Clippers, you gotta give them credit. They didn't really have all-stars on their roster to compete with the Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
Yet to take them 6 games and make them like really play at a high level instead of just kind of sitting back and just coasting through it.
Mm-hmm.
Like you got to give them credit.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, the Clippers have they have cap space for 2 max contracts. So I mean, maybe Kawhi Leonard gets bounced or someone that's a free agent.
Hey, that'd be a nice fit actually for Kawhi right there.
The Clippers, them, taking the Warriors to 6. Hey, maybe it might. Reel in one of these superstars to come play for LA, come play for Doc. But it's hard. I mean, who's available? Who wants to come to play for the Clippers? The Lakers are recruiting. It's
interesting, though, because a lot of it, I think, depends on what happens in the finals and happens in the playoffs. Because
the aftermath.
Yeah, because they're saying that, Kawhi is a free agent and that he wants to come to LA. The Clippers.
Is that where he's from?
He's from Riverside.
Riverside? Wow.
Yeah, went to San Diego State.
He's a mama's boy, isn't he?
Probably. I mean, he probably loves it.
I heard he was a mama's boy. I don't know where I heard that from.
I'm not sure, but yeah, like going back to the Clippers, I just think that
I ain't mad at it.
They do have that cap space.
Yeah.
And I just think it really depends what happens in the playoffs. Like, I think if KD, I feel like if KD loses, I feel like he might want to come back to the Warriors again, man. If he wins, which is
come back.
I don't know. I think that if he wins, he's done. He's just gonna go to New York,
Hey, but going back to your the playoffs, this is a series everyone's been waiting for.
Yeah.
Houston Warriors.
Yeah.
And whoever wins this is going to the finals. No disrespect to Denver.
Or whoever's winning this
Portland.
is winning the finals?
Yeah, most likely, but I don't want to say win the final. I'm going to say goes to the finals.
Okay.
No disrespect to Portland and Denver, but
I think Nah, I mean, there's no disrespect to them, but I just think Portland and Denver will not be able to play with the Rockets.
I think you
or
were saying a
Warriors.
little bit before the show, you were just like, man, that's just going to be like a wasted series right
go ahead,
there.
Let them play for
Hey,
second place in the West.
like we said, anything could happen.
I hope they prove me wrong.
Yeah.
I really do. I want them to win.
I mean,
but
obviously, if
just
Golden
the Warriors are
State,
too much.
beats Houston, I think I would want Denver or Portland to, somehow get all the Infinity Stones and somehow whoop some ass,
What do you guys got, though, in that series? Golden State, Houston.
Oh man, that's a tough one, man. I think it could really go 50-50, but my heart is just telling me that the Warriors are going to be able to pull it out, just because I don't think anybody can guard Durant.
I think the Warriors are going to win that one too, and it's going to be really interesting. I mean, right now we don't really know the exact score at the moment, but I think the Warriors were up just moments ago, But we'll keep everybody up to date. I mean, they're playing at this moment, so we'll keep current scores up to date.
Hey, I think this is the year that Houston gets them.
Yeah?
So?
Yeah. I think this is the year, man. And I hope I'm right.
But that's just you hoping, I think.
Hey, but I mean, you got James Harden, you got a chance. You got Chris Paul. It's crazy. Look at this series. They're outmanned. The Rockets are still outmanned. You got James Harden and Chris Paul, and you're still outmanned. But I think they're gonna do it this year. I think if Chris Paul can stay healthy and James Harden can stay healthy, they're gonna do it, man.
And maybe looking at the series as obviously right now Golden State is in Golden State right now, so they're up 83-76 in the fourth with 11 minutes 40 seconds to go. But do you think Houston's gonna win in Houston, Golden State's gonna win in Golden State, and then
Houston has to win one. They have to win one in Golden State to win the series. So
and
okay.
I think
technically they got to win
the
one.
most important one was this one. I think if Houston really wanted to make a statement, I think they needed to win game one. I think that would have just shook the Warriors.
Yeah. I could see it going 7 again though. First
definitely.
Golden State wins.
I think it goes 6-7 games.
Okay.
But
it should be fun though, man.
When I saw Durant play against the Clippers in that last game, like him just going off for 50, man, that guy's.
And just that, the significance of the game. It's all right, let's get it together, boys. Let's get it together.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, as he really really went off, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see what Kevin Durant does in this series alone, because obviously we have to worry about Clay, we have to worry about Curry. There's just so much to watch, and then CP3 and Harden on the other hand. So I'm excited.
It should be fun, man.
Yeah,
it's gonna be fun.
Let's hop over to the NFL. So I was actually really excited. Thursday was actually a really exciting day for me, because Thursday was the release of Avengers Endgame, and then also it was the NFL Draft. So honestly, this is the least I've ever paid attention to an NFL Draft in the years that I've paid attention to it. I used to be in high school. I used to keep up to date, know all the players going in, and know all the details, and all right, who the Redskins gonna draft. Put so much dedication. And this year I'm just no, so nonchalant. You know what? Yeah, just so nonchalant. I mean, I'm praying for Kyler Murray, but we all know where he's going.
Yeah, I think it was everybody knew that Kyler Murray was gonna go number one.
Number one, yeah. I mean, it was just bound to happen. I think Kingsbury, I forget how you say his name.
Clinsbury.
Yeah, he was just out to get Kyler since high school. So I mean, that just solidified that right there. But I guess I can go over the top 10 draft picks real quick, and then I wanted to kind of shout out the way the Redskins took over the draft a little bit. Not took over.
Stop.
But
I think Haskins just kind of dropped into their laps more than the fact that they went up to get him.
Yeah.
Because he fell, man. A lot of people were saying, Giants.
And he laughed at them. He laughed at them for passing on him.
Yeah,
and
it's gonna be interesting.
I thought the Redskins were I was paying attention in early talks were that the Redskins and the Jets were in talks of trading up, so the Redskins could have gone to 3. And now that I think it's just such a blessing to just for Haskins to come on our lap, and then we get one of his companions, the wide receiver from Ohio. And then we just got some really good defensive players. So, I mean, I'll go over that in just a bit. But with the number 1 draft pick, Arizona Cardinals went with Kyler Murray. So, I mean, just thoughts on that alone, guys.
I think there's a lot of pressure on him. I mean, you're going to get rid of Josh Rosen, your first-round pick last year, this guy better come and he better be everything you're expecting. And, Josh Rosen, they gave him so much motivation. And, I'm sure he wants to go to Miami and really prove himself, really prove that they made a mistake.
Yeah.
Because, he didn't get a fair shot. But, you bring this coach in and he wants that quarterback. You guys, we talked about it before, how tough it is to keep your job in the NFL. You got a 2-3 year span. And, hey, they're going to give you the keys. So, if you want that quarterback, hey, go get him. But, I'm rooting for Josh Rosen. He's out of St. John Bosco. It's not far from here in Bellflower.
I actually did like a football camp with them when I was younger.
Yeah. So,
went to UCLA.
Let's see. I hope he goes over there and he does well. But just looking at Murray, he looks like one of those players you can't pass up on. He looks like
a stud. Definitely
he looks
stud.
like a stud, man. So let's see what he does.
I think the thing for me that's most interesting about drafting Kyler Murray to the Cardinals is just what it does to that division.
Yeah, man, if you look at the division now, it's like, the Seahawks, they're still going to be decent.
Yeah.
Rams are going to be good.
Seahawks, the Rams, the
Cardinals. I imagine they're going to improve, but the only, kind of hole in that division is just the 49ers.
Yeah.
I still feel like.
Hey, but you know what? I don't count out the 49ers right away because, we don't know how Garoppolo's going to.
I don't think he's going to come back this
really?
season, though, is he?
I don't know. I think he is.
He's been out for a long, but that was an early.
Because usually that takes a year.
You're right. You might want to give it a little bit of extra time, but I figure if he does come back, I don't really overlook him. I would think of him as a danger. I just think it's very unfortunate that don't overlook Garoppolo because he's studied behind one of the best and the GOATs in the world,
That's true.
That's just one.
He plays for the Niners.
Yeah, but the Niners just stocked up on the next thing that perfectly transitions to the second pick in the NFL draft, and that is Nick Bosa, the brother of Joey Bosa. And I think history was made, I believe, with this pick because before it was the father and then two sons tandem. It used to just be was it Peyton and Eli Manning and Archie Manning as the father, and then now it's I don't know the father's name for the Bosas, but he used to play, and now it's the Bosa brothers.
They were all first rounders, I think, too, right?
Yeah, I think so. So that's pretty cool. So that's a significant draft pick and everyone knew that he was going to get drafted number 2, so that's really cool. At number 3, we have the New York Jets drafting Quinnen Williams. He's a defensive tackle from Alabama. At number 4, we have the Oakland Raiders drafting Clelin Ferrell, defensive end from Clemson. I know I saw a lot of people were shocked. I don't know, what was up with that draft pick? What is that bad or what?
They took a lot of heat for that pick.
Yeah, they did.
They were just saying that they could have got him later. They had 3 first-round picks.
Well, yeah, that, and then the fact that they traded Khalil Mack.
Yeah.
And this is a player that's
probably why they took him. John Gruden probably had a feeling hey, I got a feeling on this guy.
I just
John Gruden gets lots of feelings.
Yeah, I just feel like it's you had Khalil Mack, you traded him, and then you drafted this guy. You already had Khalil Mack. What are you? Yeah. I don't understand.
This guy's cheaper.
Yeah, he's cheaper, but he's still unproven.
Yeah, it's gonna come down to let's see what this kid can do. You know, if he can. Damn, to put him at that level, Khalil Mack, that's a little high. But if he can come in and get some sacks and get better. But
I feel like everybody's gonna want to put him at that.
Oh yeah.
At that level, hey, we traded Khalil Mack for picks. This guy better come in and do something.
A lot of pressure on these first rounders, man.
Yeah,
of course.
A lot of pressure.
And then actually, since you guys were talking about, Khalil Mack leaving, I thought that Devin White would actually be a perfect match. And then you guys heard me talking about him early on a couple of podcasts quite some time ago. I could have seen Devin White filling in for Khalil Mack at the Raiders, and they could have taken him, and like you said, taken the other guy a little bit later on. Yeah. But the Buccaneers took him at number 5. And then this is where it starts to get really interesting as the Giants take Duke quarterback Daniel Jones, and everyone just goes, whoa. Everyone was just stumped. Yeah. I'm just hey. And I was shocked, too, because I thought they were going to steal Haskins. And I was okay, Haskins and the rookie of the year, and that would give a little bit of a motivation. The Giants would be really good, The
way what they're saying about him is that they want him to sit for a couple years behind Manning and then learn from Manning. But what if they just get another quarterback in the next draft?
it's a smart move if you're playing the patient game. I think,
and that's what they're doing.
Yes, what they're doing.
Yeah.
And I don't blame them for doing that because like as a Redskins fan, I know what it's like. I would love for the Redskins to play the patient game, but we don't play it like that. We play it like we want to win now. We draft now for now. We like sign players for now. Like it's always for now. But like if you think like if an NFL team like risks it for the biscuit and is a little patient, they can build on something. And I think the Giants are capable of doing that. Yeah. And then to know that they got rid of Odell, I think they know that they're trying to stay away from the high criticism of the big talk, but get back to their their winning championship ways.
Yeah, but to me, I still don't. I've seen a couple highlights of this guy that they drafted, the quarterback, and I don't really see anything spectacular, man. I mean, he's from Duke, played in a weak division, had a couple bad games.
Duke is a basketball school.
Yeah, so honestly, I mean, I don't know what they were thinking there, but I mean, let's hope.
I was gonna ask. You kind of answered it. Like, are they bringing him in to compete for the starting job, or are they bringing him in to sit behind Eli for a year?
Well, yeah. So I think that's what the case is.
I think that they start him sitting and watching Eli, but if their season goes to shit, like it probably is, they'll throw him in, let him get some playing time, let him get some reps.
I can see that.
But hey, man, Eli's won 2 Super Bowls. He might be washed up, but he knows what it takes because he's done it. So I mean, who better to teach you than a man?
I mean, obviously he's in the division, and I don't like him, but like he throws some dimes sometimes.
Yeah, he used to. I haven't seen him throw a good ball in a while, but you hate to love him, man. You hate to love him.
Finishing up on the draft top 10, or I only have 9 actually. Oh no, I've got 10. We have the Jaguars at 7 taking Josh Allen. He's an edge rusher from Kentucky. Number 8, we have the Detroit Lions taking T.J. Hawkinson. He's a tight end. I think he was like the number 1 tight end. Obviously, he's the first one taken. At number 9, we have the Buffalo Bills. Ed Oliver, defensive tackle, went from Houston. And then at number 10, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers taking Devin Bush, linebacker from Michigan. Ooh,
yeah, I heard a lot of good talk about him, and that the Steelers did a really good job in drafting him. So
yeah, that's a very good draft pick if I know, because I heard a lot of people talking about him. So
yeah. And
then I guess just a little bit more on like the Redskins draft. Not gonna gloat here. I didn't just wear burgundy for nothing today. But I mean, like I guess like this Montez Sweat guy is like a big deal, defensive end, and I think it's Mississippi State, I believe.
What round do you guys get him in?
The second round. I guess they traded up with the. I forget who they traded picks for. It might have been the Jets, but. They traded up for him, so I mean, I hear big talks about him, but I'm also excited that that Haskins gets Terry McLaurin, wide receiver from Ohio, so he's got some company with him, familiarity. That's the word I was looking for. As a great addition to Josh Doxson. I mean, obviously we lost Jamison Crowder. Stop doing that. Stop doing that.
But I'm just curious if they're gonna start him though, or if they're gonna have him sit.
Josh Doxson or
no, the quarterback Haskins.
Oh, Haskins.
Who else are they gonna start?
Chase. Case Keenum.
Didn't they sign Case Keenum over the?
Yeah, I can see. Yeah. I mean, this is the tough thing about it. Like I mean, I wouldn't mind having him sit too. I don't mind playing the patient game. Case Keenum is not far off, guys. Like last time we saw Case Keenum, he had the Vikings going full throttle. But I mean, obviously he got traded to the Broncos, I believe, right after that. And I mean, the Broncos are the Broncos. They only got defense. That's all they got. So Yeah,
the Redskins had I was looking at their draft, and it seemed like they had a pretty good draft. That guy, what was his name? The DN you were
Montez Sweat.
Yeah, he's supposed to be a first round talent. He had some off the field issues in college, so I think he dropped to the second. But if he can pan out. And then we were talking about before you guys were at Bryce Love.
Yeah, number 4. He was in the 4th round. Yeah. Bryce Love, running back. You were saying that he had an ACL torn?
Yeah, he has a torn ACL. So he'll be out probably the whole year. And like I was telling you, in his mind, people tell him, why not just go to school? You could probably be a first-round pick the next year. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, he tore his ACL. What if he tears it again? Might not even get drafted. Yeah. So you can't blame him for
taking a risk.
Draft and he was pretty good. He was a good running back at Stanford, and he's a little small, but
he was well loved.
Yeah. I think he was one of the Heisman, one of the finalists.
Really?
Yeah.
No way.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I know he was.
That's a risky for the biscuit move, and I know the Redskins. They're smart with their running back picks. They have been always smart with their running back picks over the years, and I think we do take chances on stuff like this, so it's good. Any other ones? I mean, the rest are just fillers. I mean, I really did want that guy from Arizona, the wide receiver, but it was really nice to see where like DK Metcalf went with the Seahawks. Do you see that where he walked in to greet Pete Carroll,
with his
shirt off, and Pete Carroll took his shirt off too just to greet him and hug him. Like it's a special moment. I think the cool thing that I really took from the NFL draft to finish it off on NFL Draft Talk was it was really nice to just see and NFL was posting stuff on Instagram of the players. They put headphones on and they're watching videos of their family congratulate them and tell them things. So it was really sweet and you can just feel the genuine feeling that not a lot of people get to go through when going through the NFL draft. It's something else. And then I didn't even know it was in Nashville, Tennessee, right?
I feel like this year they really
they changed the location. It was outside.
Yeah, and they televised it. I think it was on Channel 7, on national TV. And I feel like this year they really made a big deal out of the draft.
Yeah.
Kind of promoting the NFL.
Well, there was a lot of people there. If you were watching it live, it was nice, beautiful area. And one of my coworkers, he was telling me that he wants to go to that part of Tennessee. I think it's Nashville, Tennessee. I hope I have that right.
It was in Nashville.
It's a beautiful area. It looked what is that? What is that Mardi Gras area? That, not the decorative, but it just looked like if everybody filled it up, that's how packed it was. So many football fans out there, and they kept it all categorized with your teams, and a lot of people were in their batches of teams. So I just love that environment. I feel like there's nothing that compares to being with a crowd of people who you rep with. They just understand you, obviously.
That moment right there, it's kind of, they feel like I made it. I made it. I got drafted. I don't want to say they're set for life, but
it gives them an opportunity. It's they're on the right path, and it gives them an opportunity to take their skills to the next level. And I mean, this is it. The draft is over.
Once in a lifetime chance.
Yeah,
sure.
And it's kind of and it's good that it doesn't matter where you get drafted. Remember that, and as NFL players, you got to remember that, because at any of these players can prove anybody wrong. Anyone could be they should have been the number 1 draft pick. Obviously, it's Kyler Murray, but now he's got the big shoes to fill. So it's I'm excited to see him work with David Johnson and Larry Fitzgerald. That's exciting, Yeah.
Well, let's see what he can do.
We'll see what he can do.
He's got a lot of pressure.
All right, we'll move on from NFL talk. We'll go over to MLB. So we'll get some updates on the league standings. I have uploaded the league standings, so let me just pull it up here. I should have it right here. So I guess I just go over the top teams in each standing right now. Right now we're looking at the American League. At the top 3, I guess I'll name. We've got the Rays with 17 wins and 9 losses, with a 1-game win streak. Twins right behind them with 15 and 9. With a 2-game win streak, and then Mariners right behind them, 18 and 12, with a 1-game lose streak. And then following them, it's just the Astros, Yankees, Indians, Rangers, Athletics. And then going over to the National League, a little bit more of an importance to the people sitting here at the table, obviously. So we've got the Mario. You know what? Let me let you say that. Let me just say. You know who's in first place?
It's obvious, man. Dodgers are in first place,
Exactly.
Followed by the Padres. Diamondbacks in third, Rockies, Giants, right where they belong, last place. right where I like them.
I noticed that. It's sad to see that the Reds are a little bit next to them, because I want to see Puig kind of succeed a little bit, but that's just a little bit of my heart that just kind of drifted away.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But I'm eyeballing. I'm excited to talk to you about the 3-game win streak that we've been on, but also kind of scared to see that the Cardinals are trailing, because I feel like every time that the Cardinals are a hot team when it comes to playing in our area, they just bug the hell out of us, for some reason.
Yeah, there's one team that just, as a Dodger fan, just scares me playing in the playoffs or just playing in the regular season, and it's the Cardinals.
It's the Cardinals.
I fear the Cardinals. I have nightmares about the Cardinals. And it's crazy. That's just one team that they could be in last place, and we could go play them in the regular season, and they'll probably sweep us.
Yeah.
Or they'll take like 2 out of 4 games, 3 out of 4. They always play us really tough. I don't know what it is, but yeah, I hope they don't make it to the playoffs. I'd rather see anybody else. The Phillies, the Brewers again, Padres. I know the Padres are actually playing pretty well. So I wouldn't mind seeing them in the playoffs,
Yeah.
But yeah.
And then just talking about the last couple games that the Dodgers had. I mean, since the last time we talked on Sunday, they had played last Sunday when we recorded. They played Milwaukee. They had a win, 6-5, and then that following Tuesday they played against Chicago and lost. Wednesday they lost against Chicago again, but then topped it off with the win that following Thursday, which was nice because it's tough to lose to Chicago. Because they're such a great team, but you don't want to get swept by Chicago.
Yeah, no. Whenever you're on the road, you always want to play 500. So if you can get, 2 out of 4 on the road, that's good. Even if it's 1 out of 3, that's not really so great. But you don't want to get swept on the road. You always want to play either 500 or above.
Yeah. And that was a good transition from, getting that last win against Chicago and transitioning to our 3-game win streak that we have right now. And that follows through Friday and Saturday's game against the Pittsburgh Pirates, taking a dub 6-2 and 3-1 those games. So
yeah, and they're playing right now, and they're tied 5-5. 5-5. Bottom of the 6th.
So the Pittsburgh Pirates are giving them a nice little run for their money.
Yeah.
And hopefully they don't end it just like we ended that Chicago game,
Yeah.
But they're exciting to look at right now. I think I'm excited that we got Kershaw back, and I'm just really excited about that play he did running.
Oh, when he slid to
first place, so that because that this kind of goes back to the conversation we had when Chris was here, and you guys kind of were having that Kershaw conversation. Does this kind of you look at this now and you see okay, he's willing to do that as a pitcher? Does that give you a little bit more hope and comfortability?
For me, when a player like that, if it would have been anybody else and he dives like that into first base, it's oh man, this guy he's committed, he wants to win. He's got heart. But when it's Kershaw, I don't want to see him sliding like that into first base.
Okay, see that's where I knew this was gonna go.
Kershaw,
I knew he was gonna
Kershaw
say something like this.
Gets paid $30 million to pitch.
Gotta protect him. I'm asking if the heart is coming out.
I would have much rather him just let the guy get to first base and not slide in awkwardly like that.
Okay.
That is just you get paid $30 million to pitch, not to slide into first base where you can break your leg
or your hip bone or your tailbone.
Yeah, that terrified me, man. I said, if it would have been anybody else, that's right. Cool. But with Kershaw, nah, man, you gotta protect yourself.
I had a feeling that you were gonna go towards that way, because I knew the money had a lot to do with it. It's I don't want you to risk it for the biscuit. I don't want you being RG3 over here.
It's just a smart way of thinking, man. And I'm pretty sure Doc, the manager, was also thinking the same thing, or just anybody at the Dodgers organization, like Kershaw, don't be doing stuff like that, man. Don't worry about it. Gets to first base, okay, we could pitch out of it, but. Yeah, no, I didn't like that. That just kind of scared me a little bit.
You didn't like any of it, like at least 1% of it.
I mean, yeah, it shows that he's got heart and he wants to win. And if this is Game 7 of the World Series and it's the last out, okay, yeah, go for it. But no, not in a meaningless, regular season game.
All right. I see you, Mario. And just I guess I would just go over a little bit. The A's are in some turmoil against the Toronto Blue Jays. They just had a 2-game losing streak. It was nice for the A's to get a 3-game sweep against the Texas Rangers because for a team like the Texas Rangers, I like to see them go down. But just before that 3-game win streak, they lost against Toronto, and then they had 2 games after that against Toronto, and they lost. So I mean, is Toronto a good team? I haven't been paying attention too much.
Nah, they're not so great. Oakland.
That doesn't
but
make
then
me
again,
happy.
Oakland's not so great.
Hey, you better
either,
watch your mouth. Just kidding.
Let's be honest, man. They've been pretty bad for a couple years now.
All right. Let's move on. Let's move on from the MLB talk here and let's actually go into some soccer talk. Okay. I want to, we have Champions League this week, right?
That's true.
So just going over the games, I'm just super excited because, this is revenge time. On Tuesday, April 30th, we have Tottenham versus Ajax. That's the first leg. Mm-hmm. And then on Wednesday, May 1st, we have Barcelona versus Liverpool, which I have a class in that time, which I'm excited to. I'm gonna miss the first half because I'll be in class, but when I get out, I'll watch the second half. Mm-hmm. I'm not too bummed out because that makes me think that next week it'll be the Barca game on Tuesday, so then I can watch it again, and that's gonna be the epic one because.
Yeah, to me, I think that's the final.
Yeah.
Liverpool and Barca.
Yeah.
Whoever comes out of that leg is gonna be, is gonna easily beat either Tottenham or Ajax.
Yeah.
I'm surprised though Ajax did what they did and beat Juventus, man. I just feel like it was.
We didn't get to talk about that, did we?
Yeah, no, they underestimated Ajax big time.
Did you watch that game?
Yeah, I saw some of it. The Tottenham game also surprised me. Remember I told you that one was going to go 50-50?
Well, the shocker about that one is that they got robbed at the end. I mean, hey, it was offsides, but I mean, the VR rule came out twice against Man City. Yeah. Twice. That's so crazy that we just started installing this technology to review goals where in the NFL they've been reviewing stuff, the NBA they've been reviewing stuff, the MLB just started doing that kind of stuff a couple years ago, right? And so for them to start doing that in soccer, I understand, but like it's crazy how like just in a snap that.
Well, they're doing that everywhere, man. Like even in the NFL, you heard about the fact that they're gonna start reviewing the
PI rule,
the passing interference, and that to me is just gonna be crazy next season if you think about it, man. Like at the end of a game.
Well, the games are just going to last longer now.
Yeah, but if you look at the end of a game,
that's the deciding factor. Right
there. A wide receiver could just run for a Hail Mary, and if he gets bumped by somebody, the wide receiver could even go as far as to sell it, that he got bumped or that he's getting held.
That's where I want them to take a couple of notes from soccer. I want them to take notes from soccer in the sense that if it looks like they sell it, I think they should be punished for that. Soccer players get yellow cards for faking stuff like that.
You're right, but it prolongs.
They do.
It just prolongs the game, though. Yeah. Now there's gonna be like, pass interference. Like, I'm gonna challenge it. Okay, there's gonna be commercials. The referee's just going to be going to the booth to review it. It's just going to prolong the game. And I already don't like the fact that the games are so long.
There's a lot of commercials and stuff.
Yeah, just commercials.
Hey, but there's not more than basketball, so I can kind of deal with that. There is a lot more action, fast-paced, and,
Yeah.
But the thing that I get annoyed with basketball is that there's so many fouls and timeouts.
But with basketball, though, it's 2 minutes.
Yeah, okay.
They review only stuff under 2 minutes.
Under 2 minutes.
The only stuff that I don't like to see is when the call... that call determines the game.
That's what happened during Man City.
But it's tough, too.
That's what happened in the Virginia game, too.
Yeah,
it's
tough. It's tough to say. I mean, if you put in all this replay and you review everything, I mean, you're going to review if this... I mean, so you're basically leaving it up to ref. Do you think that's PI or not? I mean, there's some calls that are tough. And
I think
there's a lot... If you actually, watch the games and watch all the routes that these receivers run... There's interference on almost all these plays, man.
Yeah, pulling.
But the biggest BS I hear from refs is, I'm going to ref it the same way from the beginning to the end.
And
that's not true. The end, you don't call it unless it's super blatant.
Yeah.
You let them play and you let them determine the winner.
And that's the thing about the NFL, man. That's why I don't. It just pisses me off, the fact that they're making that change. And then also the holding, man. If you watch the games, there's always a lot of holding that just doesn't get called.
It's not enough refs.
Almost on every play.
It's tough to see.
Hands to the face, all those plays.
Yeah.
But I think you guys just gave me an idea for a new top 8 list for next week's after SK Sports. I think we could do a top 8 maybe like NFL or crucial calls, controversial calls to end a game,
The tuck game, Raiders, Patriots.
Yeah, see? Maybe that's one that we'll do. We'll talk about that.
The list goes
on. But I like that, when we have these conversations.
The list goes on in favor of the Patriots.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
Yeah, that's a long list right
well,
there.
not like controversial calls in the sense that, like Deflategate and all that stuff, but, like, something that has to go with, like, the last second of the game.
I don't know if you want to touch up on the
update. Let's go for it.
Yeah, on the Rockets game, Rockets are down by 2 with 2.5 minutes left.
They could pull this one off.
Yeah,
But
but Durant just 2-point shot.
Yeah, it looks like Houston's kind of catching up, getting a little bit closer.
And like I was saying, I think this is the game that the Rockets really need to get if they want to win the series.
Okay.
Game 1.
if they can steal 1 or 2, that'll be huge.
Yeah.
That'll be huge. But
Bad pass.
the Warriors at home are just tough, Like, man, I mean, they're tough anywhere, but at home.
There's just too much to the crowd and help,
Yeah, but I just think with game 1 though, like it'll set the tone. So they'll steal home court advantage right away. Game 2 is not a must win. Because think about it. If they lose, I feel like if the Rockets lose this game, game 2 for them, I think has to be a must win.
I wanted to share this with you guys. Stan Van Gundy was talking about, I'm not going to let Durant beat me, like send a double. Well, you send a double and you leave Steph and Curry wide open.
Every other player
So
hit a
and Clay.
It's like
shot.
you pick your poison.
Yeah.
Like the Clippers were playing them 1-on-1. What are you gonna do? Well, I mean,
Well,
you got to pick your poison.
When you bring that up,
poison.
the last game of the Clippers Warriors game, there was this play where Kevin Durant went up and someone had his hand like perfectly covering his face, and they just titled, "How do you cover that? You can't cover Kevin Durant. He's gonna close his eyes and still make shots. Like
I think
it's just tough.
the only player really that would be able to guard like a Kevin Durant type of player is just Giannis. Someone that's just as long as him and just as
But
as
if Giannis
athletic
is
as him.
But if Giannis is struggling against Kyrie right now, oof.
Yeah.
This is an intense playoff. This is a good playoff.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. And I feel like this is the first year in a long time that we actually feel that someone could take out the Warriors. I mean, the last 2 years, there was no question.
Yeah.
Who's going to take them out? No one. Now it's like, all right, maybe the Rockets, maybe someone on the East could maybe take them to 6 or 7. But, man, Boston's looking really good taking that game. So
Yeah, no, I got to give credit to Boston, though, man. To beat the Bucks at home,
They're ready.
by over 20 points. Like, that was crazy.
Look at this. It's getting down to the wire now.
Yeah,
98, 95.
minute and a half.
Another foul. Is that shots? Someone's got to take shots. Oh, not again.
Yeah, it's a shot. But you notice if you watch the game though, like Durant's taking over, man.
Here, let's put the volume up.
I hate Durant.
Durant's taking over. Like this.
We'll commentate on the last part of this game.
Yeah.
And then we'll get back to soccer because I want to pay respects to Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi, but I want to get us to pay our respects to those two guys. But let's commentate the rest of this game. I think as a good transition because we got to remember we're podcasting here. So let's put our podcasting skills to the test by commentating this game. Golden State up 99, Houston 95.
Houston 95. It's gonna be a 5-point lead right here.
How much time left? I'm blind.
Minute and a half.
126. How come you don't wear your glasses?
I don't know.
They're doubling Harden.
And that's the thing. When you play the Rockets, you could double Harden. You could double Chris Paul.
Because the other players are
someone
not.
else beat you. Yeah.
The other players are not going to want to stay open. Ooh.
They
Stepped
called it.
out of
I thought they
bounds.
called a foul.
Well, was it Harden? 109.
But they
What, Iman Shumpert in the lineup?
they barely started doubling Harden though. If you
Yeah.
notice, that's gonna be their game plan towards the end of the games, doubling Harden.
What?
Oh, it didn't even look like he stepped out of bounds.
Curry with the ball, top of the court.
They score here, it's over.
You see how they're running everything through Durant?
Durant, yeah. Ooh, that's off shot. Oh, they're resetting.
They didn't hit the rim.
Clay. Okay.
They need something.
Harden with the
there.
rebound. What is going on
Yeah,
with those
yeah.
two with those hands?
Layup.
Wow.
Wow.
And one.
And one.
Here we
That's
go.
crazy.
This one's coming down to the wire.
Look at those old
Coming down
people.
to the wire.
Those old people are nervous as hell.
And the Warriors didn't get a break like Houston. They what did they play Friday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they had one day. Get back home and
That just goes to
And
show you
play
how
a game
powerful
one.
they are.
oh yeah.
Look at Harden. Get your ass up.
Hey, DeMarcus Cousins signed a 1-year deal, right?
Yeah.
He's done already, though, right?
Well, he's
Yeah,
done.
he's done for the playoffs. I don't see him
he's
coming
done.
back.
But like that's what I'm saying. Like you think he's not coming back?
No, he's not coming back.
Yeah,
To
he's
the
done,
Warriors?
definitely. Oh, to the Warriors. I
Like
don't
you
know.
think they'll resign him
I don't know, man. I think if
if KD leaves?
well, yeah, if they lose Durant, like they're gonna have all that money to throw at,
But
at
he's gonna want
somebody.
money too. Yeah, I mean this year he signed for $5 million. That's way, and he can.
Damn,
go
but you
get
think a
max.
team's gonna want to give him a lot of money after coming, off that injury, back-to-back seasons?
Yeah.
30 seconds
They need to
left.
I think-
stop right here.
I think he'll be more of a consolation prize.
Damn, Nene guarding Curry, man.
Curry at the top. Oh, Curry
they-
shooting over
They
Nene.
got Nene a few times this game,
Oh
man.
my gosh, former Denver Nugget legend. Oh my gosh, just got dropped over.
Wow.
That's what hurts them. Having Nene out there, and
Like,
they
you-
switch it. That's a mismatch.
That's the player you don't want to at the last moments,
Well, yeah.
Why
And
is
you don't
it-
want him
why is it
covering-
Capella?
You don't want to cover. You don't want him covering him. It's tough. This is a game, a series to definitely keep an eye on. Definitely.
Yeah.
Should be fun.
Do you think that's over? Do you think it's
Oh, yeah.
that's game?
I think so.
That's game.
Curry hit the dagger.
Keep an eye on it. But lastly, we'll get back to Champions League. So real quick, Tottenham beating Ajax, right?
I think so.
You think so? And then we get back to Barcelona. I think maybe it'll get interesting. Maybe it'll be like a 1-1 for the first leg. Obviously, Wednesday we have to wait for that one. But I think it'll be 1-1 at first, if anything. They're playing at. It doesn't even say where they're playing at. That scares me. Oh no, it's at Barcelona first. So that's a tough one. So
Yeah.
Barcelona's gonna want to get up. for
I
sure.
like Liverpool though coming out of there because Liverpool's just they got a lot of offensive power, man.
That's
But we'll
scary. Yeah. Should we wait for this game to come back real quick? Yeah, here
It's
it goes.
over.
You think
I
it's
mean,
over?
No,
I think so.
If the Rockets could get a shot here really
Where are they
quick,
down? They're down 5.
they're down 5
Let's keep an eye on it.
with 20-something seconds.
Look at the shimmy. Oh, it was the half shimmy. He didn't even fully shimmy.
Damn.
Dang.
Yeah, Nene's 36.
That guy's old. I remember he was
Yeah.
like he was on the Nuggets for like the longest time. He was on the Nuggets when AI was on the Nuggets, wasn't
They
he?
need a quick one here. Whatever they do, it needs to be quick.
Yeah.
Harden with the quick slam. Put them up down by 3. So Golden State up 103, 100. 21.3 to go.
And what makes them so tough in this situation, it's like they have 3 almost automatic 3 free throw shooters. So, I mean, obviously they're going to try to get the ball to one of those guys.
Yeah.
And they don't really miss. So,
Look at it. He made a look. He looked over.
I think he looked to see if anybody was open at in the corner 3.
Try to get up at least one more point up. I mean, if the Rockets make a nice move here to tie it up or something, that'd be interesting. That'd be
I
interesting.
want to ask you guys,
Hmm.
give me your finals predictions, man. Who's going to make it East and West?
East and West. Well, obviously, when we look at Denver and Portland, we don't see anybody coming out of that. It's obviously going to be who's going to be making it out of this game. So obviously, the Warriors are going to go to the finals, and honestly, I just don't know. I really want Milwaukee to come out winning versus that Celtics, and then on the other hand, we have what? Who do we have on the other one? Why am I stumping here?
Boston.
No, Toronto. I think Toronto will definitely come out of that. So it'll be interesting to see Milwaukee versus Toronto. And then from there, I just think it's probably Toronto can
Milwaukee ain't making it past Boston.
I think Milwaukee will, man.
I think they will.
I like Milwaukee and the Warriors.
I think they will.
That's my finals prediction.
That's my
right
finals
there.
prediction too.
And then Warriors in 6.
But I can see that like Kawhi coming out of nowhere and just dominating with Toronto and just deciding to upset everybody. All right, here we go. We've got 21.3 seconds. I'm sure we'll have 5 more timeouts in the middle of this segment here.
Damn. Yeah, most likely. Oh, they got
20 seconds in NBA will be 10 minutes in real life.
Here we go. So,
They're not
Monty
fouling.
fouling.
They're going for the steal.
Wow.
the Rockets steal it away from
Why
the
didn't they call a timeout?
Golden State. Harden drops back with a deep 3. Oh, and he misses.
Oh, I thought they went in, dude.
It looked like it.
Oh, man.
Golden State ball. Wow, that was quite the interesting. They had a chance.
Wow, they didn't foul. They still got the steal. Wow, that was. Oh.
Dang, that's unfortunate. They had a chance, and then I guess Houston stepped out of bounds or what?
Yeah.
Hey, they ain't giving Harden those calls, man.
No, they're not giving him
those calls to land.
He gets those calls in the regular season every
all
game.
the time. Yep.
I think he's supposed to be a little bit more conscious about the way he lands, and instead of just focusing on the shot. Maybe that's what the refs want. Oh, that was ridiculous.
I think Paul was saying that he got fouled there, huh?
Let's see.
He got a good shot off.
Yeah,
He's
you
kicking
see,
his legs
I
out,
think he's
though.
kicking
That
out
one
his
he
legs.
kicked out.
Yeah,
But the ones earlier, he
Yeah.
wasn't kicking out. Thompson was hitting his leg.
and that's it, right?
That's it. It's
Yeah,
over.
it's over.
That's about it. So
Yeah, they had a good shot.
Come on, refs.
Golden State take. I think that was maybe on the refs right there. But I mean, like, look, if he keeps kicking his feet out like that,
they're
that's
just not consistent. I don't like that. And you got to be consistent. Like, if you give a player superstar calls during the regular season, then all of a sudden you don't give it to him in the playoffs. Like, what's up with that?
Yeah.
You got to be consistent.
It's so hard to ref that. Like, how do you determine this guy's kicking his legs out? And you're trying to watch the top if he's getting hit on the hand. And I got to watch his damn legs, too. Like, man.
But I think
they got to watch everything now.
I think I'd have a little bit more respect for Harden if I don't know if he's doing it for style or if it's just the way he does it. It's like, look, I think for me, it's the Messi mentality. Like, for me, like, when I think of the Messi mentality, it's like Messi is going to run no matter what. If you try to push him, pull him down, he's going to continue running. He's not going to cause that foul. For me, I want Harden to take that Messi mentality and utilize that and say, like, look, I can jump up. I can take the shot. And I don't need to come down like that. I can come down and, like, look at my feet and, like, do all these things that can help him land properly.
But you see, that's not his game, though.
You see, and that's the thing that's
Harden has always been a player that benefits from drawing contact and going to the free throw line.
That's not gonna win him a championship. That's all I'm telling you. Right now.
Not like that. If the refs don't give him the calls in the playoffs, no, definitely no.
Yeah. But it's definitely, we'll leave it off on that. It's definitely a series to pay attention to.
Mm-hmm.
But finishing off on soccer, I wanted to just give a shout out to Messi and Ronaldo too. Like, mainly Messi because Barcelona did win La Liga over the weekend. It's like a point system, so it was just gonna happen. Yeah. And Juventus, it was just gonna happen. Actually, another shout out to Arturo Vidal. He had 6 or 8 consecutive league titles from the day he was on his first team, Bayern,
and then Bayern.
Yep, and then now with Barcelona. So it's just like cool to see like all the the winnings that that all these teams are doing. So a nice little fun fact is that this is the first time that Messi and Ronaldo are they both hoist league titles at the same time since 2009. Ronaldo was on Manchester United and Messi was in Barcelona in 2009. They both won their league titles, and then now Juve. But I mean, I gave Ronaldo a shout out, I think last week, for winning the title, meaning that he won history he made history by winning 3 titles for three different leagues, La Liga, Barclays Premier League, and now Italian League. So it's all really, really cool to see these legends. And now we're still in the midst of Champions League. Just a cool little like stat right here. So Messi, 15 seasons, 450 games, 338 wins, 417 goals, 10 titles. If that doesn't spell GOAT, then I don't know what does, dude.
I know what spells GOAT. CR7 translated spells GOAT.
Look, man, they're both amazing players. I think it does help for Ronaldo not to be on Real Madrid for me to get back on his good side. Don't get me wrong, I loved Ronaldo when he was on Man U. I was a big fan of him in Man U. But when it comes to La Liga, and I adore and I admire all the matches that they have given us in his time. Those are the respected games. Ronaldo, Messi, El Clásico. I'll always miss that, and hopefully we'll get to see that again one day. Maybe, I don't know. Fingers are crossed. I really wish, maybe. But you'll never get those games ever again. But, I really was hoping a Ronaldo-Messi Champions League meetup, but we all know that didn't happen, but it's something to look forward to. And I don't think there's a champion yet in Barclays Premier League.
No, not yet.
The race.
I think there's still two weeks left.
Yeah, the race is still on. Let me just check my notes here. Make sure that we covered everything. I think that's everything. Juve for winning the title, Barcelona for the winning simultaneously. Yeah, that's about it. Did you guys need anything else to get off your chest in the sports world? That's it for this week.
See what happens in these playoffs.
All right, yeah, keep an eye on the playoffs, and we'll update you guys next weekend. Closing off everything, make sure you guys check out our Instagram, Space Kaiju Podcast, to keep up with any post and podcast drops. Twitter, Space Kaiju PROD. Twitch, Space Kaiju _ and at YouTube. Like I said, I've been kind of transferring over to a new channel and kind of finishing up all that stuff. So YouTube, Space Kaiju Productions. And then all things Space Kaiju, head over to spacekaijuproductions.com. And so whether you listen to us on iTunes, SoundCloud, any other platform, I thank you for listening, and we'll catch you guys next week.
Peace out.